Hello and welcome to Warrenton UMC's Quarterly Town Hall. I'm Marcia Payne, and I chair the leadership team for our church. Like last quarter, we're videotaping our town hall and providing you an update on what is happening in our church. On Sunday, July 19 at 10:10 in the morning, we'll hold an interactive town hall Q&A via Zoom. Warrenton UMC continues to move forward with projects and programs, even with the ongoing coronavirus. We know the pandemic won't last forever, but our love for the Lord will. Matter of fact, while many of us have additional time to reflect, it's been an ideal time for us as a church to focus on what we do now and in the future to show God's love to our congregation and our community. That brings me to the work of Next Level Innovations 2.0. We had an amazing turnout for our Zoom and in-person sessions over the last several months. 100 of our church and staff members participated. We provided all the participants a short video that gave them an update on the innovations from NLI 1.0. Then each 10-person session focused on what still remains to be done from NLI 1.0 and talked about what is our hope for our community and what is our role in bringing this to fruition. We had robust conversations and identified multiple areas for our future focus. We'll be presenting the full NLI 2.0 report and the new innovations in the fall. I thank you for your continued support, your prayers for our pastors, the staff, and the leadership team. I thank you for your financial giving and faithfulness in supporting our church so we can all be God's messenger during these challenging days. Next, you'll hear from some of our leaders and our staff members about our reopening plans, building renovations that have been accomplished, our finances, and much more. I hope to see you at the Q&A session on July 19. God bless you. Be safe and be well.
This is Pastor Tim, and I'm excited to be with y'all this morning virtually and share just some of the great things that have been going over since our last town hall meeting. And I am currently on vacation, but am enjoying that time, but wanted to get some information to you guys as well and be a part of this video. Since our last town hall meeting, we have been very busy. We've had, of course, we had just gone into COVID in the last one, and so we've had to sort of figure out exactly what we're going to do. And we not only went into virtual mode where we've got all of our worship services kind of down pat and are doing those things, and the numbers have been good on that. But we've also got our daily devotionals that are going out 6 days a week, and Megan is doing a bang-up job with our children's stuff, and now has moved on to Vacation Bible School stuff, which has been really, really cool. And so the online stuff has been great. Related to that, we've also got we're now working on the website. That's been a project that we've been hoping to do for a long, long time, and it kind of got put off because of this virus. But we're now moving forward, and so we're working on the new website with a company, and we're excited to be laying that out. Since the last time we met, we've received the money for the payroll protection plan, which has been a godsend for us and has given us the opportunity to share in great ways the work of ministry because of that. We have done our hospital flyover, if you remember that. It was a few months ago, but since our last meeting, we did the hospital flyover and made the signs, and that was a great opportunity to share God's love and to connect with the community, and it was a really wonderful time. Continue to do food distribution and power packs. Those all have adapted in a way that folks have had to change the way we've done things, but have been very successful. One of the things that you have not seen, but we have seen as staff, is that we've done a lot of renovations. Our trustees and Will have worked really hard to put in all new carpet in the offices upstairs, as well as in our gathering area. The library is now a conference room, and we've got the youth room have moved. We've done a lot of shifting, and so that's really, really a great gift and been really, really wonderful. In addition to those renovations, we've had tech upgrades. We've got a new soundboard that's coming in August, and that's being set up right now. And we've ordered 2 new high density HD cameras to offset the ones that we've got the one HD camera, and if you watch on Sunday mornings, you can see the difference between the one and the side camera. So we've got those going at the same time. The biggest piece I think that's most exciting for me is that we had NLI 2.0. And NLI 2.0 is the second phase that we're moving into. We're going to get our report in September. We had 100 people sign up to be a part of those conversations, and that was such a great gift. And just got some great information, and God worked in those things in wonderful ways. I shared a meeting earlier this week about that, and we've got some really neat opportunities before us, and I think God was real clear about what those innovations should be. So lots and lots of stuff has been going on, and it's been really neat to see.
Oh, my name is Petrov. I'm one of the co-lay leaders at Warrenton United Methodist Church, and I serve the 11:15 service in that capacity. As part of the leadership team, I was asked to initially chair a task group for the reopening of the Warrenton United Methodist Church. We were trying to get ahead of the possibility of reopening. Subsequent to that, the Virginia conference, sent out what's called a healthy church team. And so we just took the team that we already had in place and we added Pastor Tim to it, and we then became the healthy church team. The responsibility, we're charged with the responsibility of putting things in place to get the church reopened when the time is right and as guidelines allow. So we've been working on that the last couple of months, about the last 2 months. Currently, we have a plan in place for small group reopenings. Plan is that we would only use Memorial Hall for small groups, and we're limited on the number of people that can participate if a small group chooses to come back to the church for their group gathering. We are limited on the number of people, and of course there's a number of guidelines that have to be followed. That has all been put together as a reopening plan, and that has been sent to Jeff, our district superintendent, for his approval. Assuming that comes back, then we will be able to move forward with opening up Memorial Hall for small groups. We also have a meeting planned for Thursday, July the 16th, as part of our Healthy Church team. We are going to meet again, our group is going to meet again and start the process of discussing and actually walking through the church and coming up with a plan for returning to sanctuary church services. Now, as we say that, we talk and get excited about the idea of coming back to church services. Please keep in mind that if and when that does happen, it too will come with a lot of restrictions and guidelines that have to be followed by everyone that would choose to attend. The restrictions that would be in place actually come from a grouping of things, meaning the CDC guidelines, the state guidelines, and in particular the Virginia Conference guidelines. The guidelines started out with over 100 pages worth of guidelines that we would have had to abide by. That has recently been adjusted, and it's now down to 30 pages worth of guidelines that we would need to follow. Some highlights from those guidelines would be face masks would have to be, face coverings would have to be worn at all times while in the church and outside on the church property. Social distancing would need to continue, the 6-foot social distancing. No singing would be allowed during the church service. And of course, no shaking hands, etc. That would be frowned upon. No communion would be allowed. The only type of communion that would be allowed would be self-serve, the individual prepackaged communions, and those would have to be handed out. And then the members of the congregation would be taking those home and actually communing later after they leave the church property. So those are just a couple of the highlights. We would also have to have parking lot attendants to where we're only allowed to use every other parking space. We would have ushers that would usher folks in and out of the church, and folks would have to sit in particular areas in order for us to maintain our 6-foot social distancing. And those are just a few of the items that we would have to abide by. It's not impossible. It's not something that couldn't be done. It's just a lot of logistical things that we have to work through and put in place before we can go back.
Well, we want to thank you for tuning in to this town hall. And as you prepare, I hope that you'll be able to take all of this, and as we have this conversation on Sunday, that you'll be able to, hopefully these things will give you some opportunities to ask questions, give you information that you may be able to talk about as you share together. And as you do, be able to participate in a way that we as members of the body of Christ can share together as one, even though we're separated. And so despite us being in different homes and not being back together yet, we are still a church that is moving and growing and doing things that are making a difference for the kingdom. And so I pray that this town hall meeting goes well, and that as you listen to this, that it has helped you to prepare and to recognize the many gifts that God has given to us together. Thank you for coming.